Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri washku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kaseera wa nazkuraka kaseera innaka kunta bina basira wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah al azim wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Welcome, dear friends. Inshallah, we will continue from the book The Words. We are on the 22nd word, page 314. We'll go over the 11th flash. And this 22nd word, second station, is, just to recap a little bit, is how to see and confirm divine unity, that everything is coming indeed from the Lord of the universe. So the author starts off that there are two ways initially. One is a superficial way where I say, yeah, it makes sense, everything, I accept it, that everything is coming from the Lord of the universe. That's one way. And then the other is more experiential and going through investigating, reflecting, mostly reflections and contemplations, which the Quran keeps encouraging human beings to do, using your human abilities, qualities. So we have to engage all our qualities, our feelings, our reasoning, senses, to understand, yes, me as an individual, as a created being, yes, indeed, I cannot exist by myself, cannot make my senses, cannot make my feelings, but they are all given to me. So that is one of the way that Quran encourages human beings, and the prophetic message encourages human beings to really ponder upon their creation and the creation of the universe. So we will continue with the 11th flash, which has the strength of suns. So as is defined in the 19th word, our Master Muhammad the Trustworthy, peace and blessings be upon him, is the supreme sign of the mighty book of the universe and the greatest name of that mighty Quran. So he is the supreme sign of the mighty book of the universe and the greatest name of the mighty Quran. So if Saturday morning discussions that we do here in New York, we did go over it recently on the 19th word. Brother, you're saying something? Okay. Yes, so here in terms of how to define the absolute truth or the unity, divine unity, is also saying the flash is one of the flashes is the messengership of Prophet Muhammad, who also brings into our awareness, our understanding, the meaning of why we are here in this world, does this world belong to, who do I belong to, and how everything in the universe is coming from the Lord of the universe. So now he is in the 11th flash, the author is mentioning the prophethood of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him being the supreme sign of the mighty book of the universe. So this supreme sign, so the one who makes it clear, highlights it to me, what this universe is about, this whole existence is about, to recognize who is behind it, who my Lord is. And the greatest name of that mighty Quran. So he is the greatest name of the mighty Quran, being the universe. So the one whose message makes it clear for me. The seed of the tree of the universe and its most luminous fruit. So the seed of the tree of the universe and its most luminous fruit. The sun of the palace of the world and the radiant moon of the world of Islam. The herald of the sovereignty of divine dominicality and the wise discloser of the talisman of the universe, the discloser of the mysteries of the universe. Why am I here? Where am I going? What is this universe for? So all those answers are clarified, are answered. Who flies in the levels of reality with the wings of messengership? The levels of reality with the wings of messengership, which take under their shade all the prophets and the wings of Islam, which take under their protection all the world of Islam, who took behind him all the prophets and messengers, all the saints and veracious ones, all the purified and the scholars, and demonstrated divine unity with all his strength and opened up the way to divine oneness. So he's coming through the whole chain line of messengers, and the message continues with other purified ones, scholars, to demonstrate divine unity and open the way to divine oneness. Has any doubt or suspicion then the power to conceal or obscure the belief in God, which he demonstrated, or the divine unity which he proved? Since in the 19th word and the 19th letter we have defined and described briefly and to a small degree in 14 droplets and 19 signs, from the water of life of that clear proves knowledge, that miracle displaying being, together with his various miracles, we shall here content ourselves with this indication and conclude with a benediction for him. Okay, before I go into the benediction of the prophets, let's see what this paragraph is saying. If anybody has any thoughts or comments on this 11th flash, which he says is a very powerful sign of how to understand divine unity and opens the way to divine oneness. Yes, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Now, we are used to reading from this author's books, bringing evidence from creation, from the universe. It became normal to us. We normalized it because he follows this way, this method, almost everywhere, or every matter relates to belief subjects. But here it's interesting. This paragraph we read is talking about Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. But he is presented as the supreme sign of the mighty book of the universe. Now, this is very interesting, and the following is highlighted here. Following description, the greatest name of mighty Quran. Now, the greatest name of that mighty Quran, the supreme sign of the mighty Quran, is interesting language. Presenting the universe as the Quran, because it is another kind of speech of the Creator. Quran is verbal speech of the Creator. Universe is action-wise speech of the Creator. But the supreme sign, ayah, here is, we can say it's sentence of this book of the universe is a part of this universe, Muhammad, alayhi salatu wasalam, a person like any other creatures created and lived in this, within this universe. So when I look at stars, when I look at rain, when I look at animals and spiders, bees, cows, why shouldn't I look at the physical existence of the Prophet Muhammad and what he did within this universe? The universe says, I have one creator. I am the product of only one absolute being. And this sentence of the book of the universe, which is in this case Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, in another century it may be another prophet, but as far as we are concerned, we are talking about Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So he also says in his message, universe has and must have a one absolute creator. So his message within the universe we hear, and his being a man in this world conveying this message to me, is corresponding with the rest of the declaration of the universe, any piece, any part of the universe. So we have to see the harmony in between and how they really correspond to each other and confirm to each other. That's why I think the author called this, it's a very strong evidence, the strength of sons. It's a very strong evidence, because what the prophet brought, the message, is corresponding to what the universe is presenting to me, its message about their source. Muhammad says, I received this message from the creator of the universe. Universe says, I am disclosing, introducing my creator as Muhammad. Muhammad's message is describing it. So it becomes double strengthened evidence. I think that's why it is important. It says it is a very important evidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali, for sharing that. Would anybody else want to share anything? All right. So let's read the benediction. Of course, bearing in mind the strong evidence of how the universe and the message, which is the act of the speech of God, as well as the revelation, is the speech of God, how they correspond to each other, which is a very unique to this author, this book's author. He gives those examples quite often. All right, so let's read the benediction. O God, grant blessings to the one who demonstrated your necessary existence and unity. Because you're benefiting from his message, definitely he deserves to be given salutations. And testify to your glory and beauty and perfection. Testifies to your glory and beauty and perfection. The verified and veracious witness. The verifying articulate proof. The Lord of the prophets and messengers. The bearer of the mystery of their consensus, affirmation, and miracles. The leader of the saints and veracious ones, and the holder of the mystery of their accord, verifications, and wonder working. The one with evident miracles, clear marvels, and decisive evidences, which corroborated and affirmed him, who displayed exalted purity in his self. So living according to the message that he brings, displayed exalted purity in his being, in his self, elevated morals in his duty, and lofty qualities in his Sharia, perfect and free of all contradiction, to whom, according to the consensus of the revealed and the revealer, and the one who revealed it to him, dominical revelation descended. The traveler through the worlds of the unseen and of the inner dimensions of things. So going behind the veil and observing, realizing the meaning and the qualities, what they point to, traveling through the worlds of the unseen and of the inner dimensions of things. The observer of spirits, who conversed with the angels. The sample of the perfections of the universe in regard to both individuals and species and realms of beings. The most luminous of the fruits of the tree of creation. The lamp of truth. The proof of reality. The embodiment of mercy. The exemplification of love. the discloser of the talisman of the universe, the herald of the sovereignty of dominicality, the sign that the elevatedness of his collective personality was before the eyes of the world's creator at the creation of the universe. His collective personality was before the eyes of the world's creator at the creation of the universe. The possessor of a Sharia that indicates through the breadth of its principles and strength that it is the order of the orderer of the world. The possessor of a Sharia that indicates through the breadth of its principles and strength that it is the order of the orderer of the world, drawn up by the creator of the universe. Yes, the one who ordered the universe with this perfect, okay, before I move to the next part of this benediction, Brother Ali, go ahead, please.
Although it is the benediction, but state some interesting points that we need to pay attention. Of course, there may be other points attracted your attention, but 3 points attracted my attention in the first paragraph, the long paragraph. One is the leader of the saints and gracious ones. Of course, we have to understand that the Prophet brought message, and people studied his message and arrived certain conclusions. And we are benefiting from these people who benefited the message of the Prophet Muhammad. And when we listen to them, when we look at their life, we understand that their life is consistent with their nature, and what they say makes sense to us. Now, through these saints and gracious ones, which means those people who benefit from the prophetic teachings or the Quranic teachings together, prophetic teaching, Quranic teaching together, if we listen to them and if we what they say makes sense to us, and if we look at them and realize that this person is not contradicting his human reality, is also a kind and another evidence for us that the Quran, the Prophet, and the universe are declaring the same truth, and my human nature also can confirm it. The leaders of the saints, the Prophet is the leader of the saints. Why is it important? Because we are learning from the students of the Prophet Muhammad now what his message was. Even the Quran is available for us, but we try to understand the Quran with the help of the scholars who studied the Quran for many, many years, and we are by reading their commentaries, their explanations that they learned from the Quran, we are learning the message of the Quran. So if we see any consistency, any reality in the teachings of these people, students of the Quran, students of the Prophet Muhammad, then it is also an evidence within the universe that we are experiencing. So when I look at an animal, for example, how wonderful creature it is, I can look at a man who has been educated through the teachings of the Prophet. I can say the same thing, how wonderful human being he or she is. That is one point, but if anybody wants to uh, make a comment on it or question, I would like to hear, and then we can continue to other, whoever sees an interesting point in it. I would like to hear them.
Sure, yeah. Anybody would like to talk? Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand what you were trying to explain, Dr. Ali.
It is not your mistake, it is my mistake. I don't state the point straight away. I just wander around it. It's very simple. If you see a person who has studied the Quran, who has studied the life of the Prophet, benefited from it, and if you see that this person has developed excellent human quality and he is consistent in his humanity and demonstrated in his life, and he speaks in such a way that you really understand it and confirm it, that is also an evidence for you and me that the universe declares absolute creator. The Prophet Muhammad declared absolute creator, and the students of the Prophet Muhammad declared absolute quality, the creator's absolute qualities. They are all uniting because we are seeing that they point to the same conclusion. So it is an evidence for us as well. If I see a person who is really nice and who is really consistent in his life, and whatever he said made sense to me, it is another evidence apart from the creation, apart from the Quran, apart from the Prophet Muhammad. Another extra evidence for us.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you for clarifying. Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
Not thus far.
Okay. One more point I wanted to ask. It says, in his Sharia. So not as Sharia as we understand probably, right? In his own being, the way he understands the universe coming from an absolute being. So he has his own. I mean, how do we understand this in his Sharia? It's not like the Sharia, we understand the laws and the rules that are in the common culture. Right? I mean, this section I understand is talking about exalted purity in his self. So very conscious, careful living, exalted morals in his duty, and lofty qualities in his Sharia, which is perfect and free of all contradiction, to whom, according to the consensus of the revealed and the revealer, and the one who revealed it to him, so whatever the guidance or revelation brings is completely following that according to how he can.
no one is speaking wants to share his understanding, and no one wants to let us benefit from their understanding. Okay. Inshallah, we will try. As you said, Sharia includes the personal and social life conditions and rulings, how we should behave so that we can be a perfect man, or we can live a consistent life. That is included, but the Sharia, the way the people really benefit in order to the original word of Sharia, the way we benefit from a source that nourishes my human needs, physical and understanding-wise, belief-wise. So Sharia never contradicts human reality. But one thing that we should realize or bear in mind, we may be growing up in a certain civilization. This civilization may have a fashion, I may, without realizing, follow the fashion and get used to it and claim that this is the norm. And then when I look at Sharia, under certain conditions, of course, I may say, this doesn't sound right, because we have been following such way of life. And this is offering us something different. So we may see that is strange. But if we try to understand what Sharia is offering us altogether, all the teachings of the Quran is Sharia, because Quran is feeding my human needs, physical and non-physical. So I have to free my mind, my conditions, and be careful about the indoctrination of the external civilization that I may be, for example, following the fashion. We see that many people follow the fashion without realizing why they are doing this. Because everybody does, they do as well. So strange. It is not human, it is just a sheep in a herd. So people just follow fashion. I don't see any reason for it. But if you ask them, they think they are doing the right action. I may be also indoctrinated by the fashion, so I have to always question my choices, whether what I am doing is right or wrong. If we have this attitude, questioning, open-mindedness, then we understand that the Sharia does not really contradict my human nature. So I understand the message that the Prophet brought to me is nothing but quote-unquote natural to my existence. That's why I understand Sharia. For example, drinking water. Although when I look at it, water is something different from my being. But when I drink it, the water really penetrates perfectly into the cells of my body and fits there and benefits them, my body. I understand that it is natural to me to drink water. Sharia is where I drink my water. Of course, as a human being, not only for my body, but also for my feelings and other human qualities.
Inshallah. Thank you, brother, for sharing that. All right. Let's see if there are any other points we can go. Yes, brother, go ahead.
The point is in the second part of the paragraph. The paragraph described the Prophet Muhammad as the traveler through the worlds of the unseen and of the inner dimension of things. Of course, it is obvious that what the message the Prophet brought to us is nothing but really giving the news about the worlds of the unseen, not the physical structure of the world, but non-physical side of the world, which is called inner dimensions of things, which means we all know that in the existence of the things, there are messages disclosing the reality or the nature of their creator, the qualities of their creator. We have to bear in mind while we are studying the Quran, while we are reading the Hadith, these are something to do with inner dimensions of the things, explanation of the words of the unseen. We should not read them as physical explanation of the world. For example, we see what happened in some ancient people, and physical activities or physical things are described there. But we have to see the non-physical side of it. It means inner dimensions of these events narrated in the Quran. Even so, it's a very important, again, I think we have to mention again and again, the stories mentioned in the Quran about the events took place during the life of the Prophet. And these events also must be understood from their inner dimensions, which means how they refer to the words of the unseen, rather than describing a physical event there, what happened to the Prophet. That is very important because it is mostly missing from the minds of the people. So what happened, the Quran explains what happened during Uhud, during Badr, describing details because narrations are available as data, ready data for us, describing physical side of it. How about non-physical side of it? The purpose of the Quran is to describe the non-physical side of these events. That is why we have to be careful while we are reading the text of the Quran and Hadith narrations.
Thank you. So when we are reading those stories, we have to see what the meaning behind them, what the inner dimension of that event is. Yeah. Like when we're drinking water, it's not, I mean, yes, we're quenching our thirst, but there is like inner dimensions to that event as well, which we have to wonder and look at. That introduces me to the absolute owner, the Lord of the universe, the worlds of the unseen. his qualities of satiating, satisfying, mercy, treating me, kindness, generosity, justice. So that's the traveling part in the how we can do in the universe. So always look for the inner dimensions of things, inshallah. Any other point? Brother Ali, go ahead.
There is a sensitive subject which this sentence mentions that Gospel of John, remind this Gospel of John. Some people confuse that. And we have to talk about it and have a clear understanding of this matter. Now, again, the text towards the end of it says, the prophet, while he's talking about the prophet as the most important sentence, piece of the universe in his personal life, and he says, he is the sign that the elevatedness of his collective personality was before the eyes of the world's creator. There is nothing suspicious here. Before the eyes of the world's creator, of course, the creator of the world must see some sort of quality in the Prophet Muhammad, so that he appointed him as a message bearer, as a messenger. So he was an important personality in the universe, in the world. Okay, but the sensitive point is, at the creation of the universe, remind some sayings in the Gospel of John. The first verse, he mentions Jesus was God, was next to him. There are some sort of things. But at the creation of the universe, what does it mean? No, he was his collective personality. It means what he represents, the message of the Quran, and his collective personality. I understand them as he received the message, practiced it in his life, and the people benefited from his practice, and this all together makes the collective personality of the Prophet Muhammad. That's what I understand from collective personality of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, for example, if I read a tafsir, commentary on the Quran, and if I benefit from it, and if I'm satisfied with it, and my satisfaction of this commentary is a part of the collective personality of the Prophet Muhammad. That's how I understand his collective personality. Now, but this collective personality was taken notice of during the creation of the universe. What does it mean? That's what I understand. At the creation of the universe. Now, we should not confuse that. The collective personality represents the totality of the message. Totality of the message represents, I am giving the answer to my own question, the totality of the message of God, either through creation or through speech, which is the Quran. Now, this message of the Creator gives the news about the inner dimension of the things, which means the dimension of the things which discloses its creator, which is called ghaib, because the creator is not within the universe, so, or as a part of the universe. So this message that the prophet presented to humankind talks about the qualities of their creator and how human beings should perceive these qualities of the creator. Now, when the universe was or is created, of course, these qualities of the creator are always manifesting during the act of creation. So we can say that the message that the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, brought to us was present at the creation of the universe. It may seem to be complicated, but very simple. First of all, I should ask this. Is it clear? Did you understand what I am trying to say? Actually, the God created the universe according to his qualities, and the message that the Prophet Muhammad brought to us discloses his qualities. So they don't contradict to each other. But in Christian theology, according to the Gospel of John, not according to the other Gospels, only there is a confusion. Jesus was with God in his personality, but this text says the collective personality of the prophet, which is the practice of his message, was at the creation of the universe. It means you can see in the way the universe is created that it is nothing different from what the message is saying. Universe is disclosing exactly what the message that the Prophet Muhammad brought to us is saying. It boils down to this very basic matter, or very base. So we have to understand that not the personality of Muhammad was next to God. Well, God is God, the absolute being. Muhammad is a created human being. But in the Gospel of John, it is very confusing, and quite a number of Christians believe that Jesus was next to God during the creation. Of course, they understand creation took place at the beginning only, and God created, and it is continuing now. In the teachings of the Quran, no, God is always manifesting his absolute creatorship in the universe, and it is not one event. Yes, it is one event, one will of the creator, but it didn't take at the beginning. It didn't take place at the beginning, and the universe is acting on its own. That there are quite fundamental matters in the description of this sentence and what the Gospel of John says. I don't know whether it is in your interest area, but I found that it may be useful to share it with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. So at the creation of the universe, you kind of pointed this out. So in the Gospel of John, they said Jesus was next to God, but here I think it ties to the message or the collective personality. So whatever the teachings or whatever the practice of the message of how creation has to be, what it has to follow in terms of recognizing who the owner of the world is, or into the ghaib part, seeing the inner dimension of things, referring to God. That is all always in each creation is present in terms of what is expected from the Lord. I mean,
Basically, there is no contradiction between what the Quran said, what Prophet Muhammad brought to us, and how the universe is being created. There is no contradiction. But the language-wise, we have to be careful because some Sufi texts also use this kind of Nur Muhammad. But Nursi uses collective personality of Muhammad.
oh, okay.
So Nur Muhammad was created before that's an extreme language. They say the Sufi tradition keeps repeating this phrase, Nur Muhammad was created before the creation of the universe. Of course, it may cause some misunderstanding, but if you are careful about it, they don't mean what the Christian theology says. Jesus was next to God, and Jesus was He. It means one aspect of God is Jesus. That is why some people go even further, saying that Jesus was man. As much as he man, he was God as well, as much as he God. Fully man, fully God. That is the Christian theology's contradiction. But this sentence is saying, really clarifying what Nur Muhammad was created before the creation of the universe should mean, should be understood. What the message of the Quran reveals to me about the qualities of the creator of the universe, exactly the universe is disclosing these qualities, nothing different from them. So there is no contradiction between what universe says, what the Quran says. That is why the collective personality was present at the creation of the universe. They should be understood.
Thank you. Okay, so let's continue with the next paragraph, unless anybody has any comment. So the universe and what the message are, there's no contradiction. They are saying the same thing. Basically declaring the qualities of their maker. So let's see. The one who ordered the universe with this perfect and total order is he who ordered this religion with its fine and beautiful order. Our master, we are the community of the sons of Adam. Community of the sons of Adam, our guide to belief. We are the community of believers. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abd al-Muttalib, upon him be the most perfect blessings and most complete peace, as long as the heavens and earth subsist. For he is the veracious and verified witness, who summoned the leaders of witnesses and has instructed the branches of mankind throughout the centuries and all the regions of the world in elevated fashion, with all his strength, with complete seriousness and utter steadfastness, and with the power of his certainty and perfect belief, testifying, I testify that there is no God but God, the One, He has no partner. So instructed the branches of mankind through the centuries in all regions of the world. We're talking to each and every one, whatever condition they are in, whatever situation they are in, bringing the news, the message that there is no God but God, La ilaha illallah, and He's the one, He has no partner, La sharika lahu. Any point in this paragraph anybody would like to share? So this mention of community of the sons of Adam, community of believers. Brotherly, go ahead, please.
It is interesting to notice that most of the authors, especially in classical time, among the Muslim scholarship, they used to start their books with simply said Hamdele and Salwele. Hamdele means they used to say Alhamdulillahilladhi. I praise to God who blah 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 blah. And then as-salatu was-salamu ala Muhammadin blah 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 blah. But we as we read it today, it is a benediction. But their purpose of writing in this way was to present their understanding of Allah, their understanding of the Prophet, therefore, the message of Allah through the messenger Prophet. Not only praying, but together with praying to Allah, they were a kind of presenting their worldview, their understanding of revelation, their understanding of prophethood, messengership, their understanding of God, how they understood God, how they really communicate with God. So here also we see the same trend here. He says, excuse me, especially in this, in the middle, Abdullah bin Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Abdul Muttalib. So upon whom be the most perfect blessings and most complete peace. And then he uses an interesting language here. As long as the heavens and earth subsist. Why don't you say endlessly? No, no, no. He said, as long as the heavens and earth subsist. What does it mean? What is the significance of way of speaking in this way? Of the way of speaking in this way. Now, the author is saying, this Muhammad, a person, a human being, ordinary human being, the son of somebody. Now, it means like you and me. I am very pleased with him, and I pray to the Creator that he must bless him. I am praying to my Creator to bless him, and I declare peace with him. How much or when or how, as long as the heavens and earth subsists. It means I can see his message is confirming and is being confirmed by the heavens on earth as long as they exist. It means by combining the message with the existence of the universe, the author is inferring that the message and the universe are declaring the same thing. As long as the universe, it means heavens and earth, subsist, they declare what the Quran is saying, what the Prophet Muhammad brought to me. I can unite both of them together. It means, in this way, his understanding of the creation of the universe is, the author's understanding of the creation of the universe is really confirming the message of the Prophet and vice versa. That is interesting. If you ever read any classical book, maybe some serious scholar, they say Hamdulillah and it means they praise God and they also pray for the Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and salawat, which is called generally known. Pay attention to this point. That is I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
So I'm confused a little bit. So why you said he's using this as long as the heavens and earth subsist rather than eternally?
Witnessing side.
Witnessing, okay, as long as I can witness, right?
Because universe witness is limited. But points to the absolute, but universe exists in a limited form. That is why the point is witnessing of the universe is really confirmed by the message of the universe, the message of the Prophet, seeing the relationship between them and conferring each other.
I see. Thank you very much. Any other comment by anyone? All right, I think we can stop here for today and reflect on this. And we will continue next time with the 12th flash, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana. Innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Surah al-Fatiha.